We're now getting close to the 5-year anniversary of an unbelievable beating that rocked the community here in Albuquerque. News 13's Kim Holland told you last night on special assignment how the person who viciously attacked Brittany Marcel on September 11, 2008 is still on the run. He beat the 17-year-old nearly to death in her home here in northwest Albuquerque. A mother walked in right after the attack, found her daughter unconscious on the floor. Brittany lost hearing in her left ear and is now blind in her right eye. She also has no memory of that night. The attacker got away and has not been caught. More than 40 tips have come into police about this, but sadly they have all been dead ends. Investigators hope one day they will lead to someone getting arrested, or that Brittany will maybe remember something about her attacker, because she still lives in fear today.
Because I'm afraid that this guy is going to come again, and this time I'll be done. I won't be here anymore.
Now, there's one big clue the attacker left behind that detectives hope will one day crack this case. To hear about it and see the rest of this special assignment, you can go ahead and watch Two Casa Fox tonight at 9 o'clock or check out our website anytime at krqe.com. 5:02 now, some good news. If you take ABQ Ride, the Northwest Transit Center is reopening today. It's on the northwest corner of Ellison and Coors Bypass. This means that no buses will no longer pick up and drop off people on Cibola Loop. Albuquerque police are now on the hunt for a burglar who was caught on home surveillance video doing his dirty work. Take a look. This is at a home in the Northeast Heights near Wyoming and Burleson. You can see the guy, he's knocking on the gate there. Later he gets inside, he goes to check a door to make sure nobody is home. Then he makes his way to the back door. That's where police say he breaks in, going after jewelry. Now police say this guy always carries a satchel and believes he carries business cards to pose as a salesman in case someone answers the door. In Santa Fe, police are now on the hunt for an armed man who tried to hold up the owner of Fusion Fire Grill Sunday night on Cerrillos Road. This happened just before 10:30 as the owner was getting ready to leave his car. He says a man in a mask approached him with a gun demanding money. The owner says he didn't have any, then he got away and called police. Well, Albuquerque police have arrested a man saying he is the guy who shot another man at a convenience store last month. Witnesses say the shooter went after Robert Cisneros as he was running into the convenience store near Indian School in Manal on July 6th. Police arrested Joseph Hirschfield after a worker at the Allsup said she recognized Hirschfield when he walked into the store a few weeks later. Police have not said what sparked the shooting or have said if the two men knew each other. Well, new this morning, Yemeni security officials say 4 alleged al-Qaeda members have been killed by a suspected U.S. drone in that country. This comes as the U.S. State Department is ordering all staff to evacuate the embassy in Yemen and is telling non-essential personnel to leave the country. This is because of intelligence warnings about a potential terrorist attack there. A U.S. intelligence official and Mideast diplomat tell the Associated Press that the source was an intercepted message between an al-Qaeda chief and his deputy in Yemen about plans for a major terror attack.
We believe that this threat is significant and we are taking it seriously for that reason.
Congress says the potential terror attack was a massive plot in its final stages. About 24 embassies and consulates in Africa and the Middle East have been closed since the weekend. A few, including ones in Iraq and Afghanistan, are open again. The government still has a travel alert out to U.S. citizens who are in these areas. Well, there are things we are used to seeing on Craigslist. You know what I'm talking about. You see a lot of baby strollers, baby high chairs, baby cribs, but a real baby? That is what prosecutors say this man, Paul Marquez, was trying to sell with his girlfriend's baby in Staten Island, New York, trying to sell the baby for just $100. They say Marquez gave out the mother's phone number and she called police after someone called her offering to buy the baby. Marquez now faces a number of charges, including endangering the welfare of a child. He could end up in jail. Well, beauty queen in Utah is in a lot of trouble this morning after getting arrested, accused of playing a dangerous prank. Police say Kendra Gill here, Miss Riverton, and a group of her friends admitted to making homemade bombs and throwing them around several neighborhoods. Thankfully, no one was hurt. The group says it was all just a prank. Gill was supposed to compete in the Miss Utah pageant soon. No word if that will still happen. Well, this morning back here in New Mexico, state regulators plan to continue to propose new rules that could change how often healthcare providers certify patients to use medical marijuana. The rules would include patients being periodically re-diagnosed making sure that all their doctors and nurses know that they are using medical marijuana. The medical board says the new rules will clear up confusion on what's required for medical marijuana certifications. The medical marijuana board plans to hold a hearing on the rules August 16th. Rio Rancho's public school board says it wants to keep that city's higher education gross receipts tax where it is right now and not lower it. The Albuquerque Journal says that's what the board decided last night. Now, in 2 weeks, from today exactly, voters in Rio Rancho will have a special election to see if they want to keep the tax at 1/4% or cut it in half to 1/8%. The money helps the University of New Mexico's West Campus and could help a new school that UNM and CNM want to build on the west side. On 506, if you want to help out kids in Albuquerque, here is a good chance to do so today. Just head over to Fidelity Investments. It's on Mesa del Sol off University Boulevard Southeast, starting at 9 this morning, and drop off school supplies. They'll help 54,000 kids whose families cannot afford to buy just very simple things: paper, pencils, and more. Well, you know, it's been a very bad summer for the Pecos wilderness. First, the Tres Lagunas fire, and now the flooding. Well, this morning, the government is trying to figure out how to restore that beautiful area. The Tres Lagunas fire burned about 10,000 acres in the Pecos Canyon at the beginning of the summer. Now, downpours in the burn scar have filled the river with sediment and debris, killing, get this, 75% of fish. Local, state, and federal government workers met yesterday to take a close look at the damage and come up with ways to restore the waterways, but all of them could take years.
Stream restoration doesn't come cheap. It costs, hundreds of $1,000s per mile of stream restoration. So, it can be millions of dollars that we're looking at.
All right, the estimated impact on the fire and on water quality in the Pecos River could last more than a decade.